have a chance to talk about his pet project, but we really have invested a lot of money in Echo. So it's the ability to you to do desktop capture in your office, or to do capture in your classroom, or full-on video capture. And when I go to schools talking about this, they're very impressed. Their schools have not made this commitment of money to lecture capture.
1 to every 4 person.
Every 4.
Like, yeah, just spread out.
They don't have great CT. Thank you. We're going to interview you. But thanks a lot. I hope you just, feel free to come to the center. Gautam will be able to talk to you about setting it up and the editing part. So if you're a little nervous about all of that, we'll take care of that. We'll get you started.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I know I've met a lot of you already, and it's great to see such enthusiasm and energy. And what Stephanie's doing now is Stephanie's going to pass out some of these devices. They're called student response systems. That's the general word for them. And they are made by Wisdom brand, or clickers. And since we have such a large crowd, we only have about 32, so we're going to pass around like 1 for every 4 people. So first what we'll do is we will play what's called a formative assessment game, so you can get an idea of what you can do in the classroom. Then we'll talk about brands of clickers. We'll talk about where GGC stands as far as this technology goes. There are different types of student response systems out there. There are different ways to implement it. Different schools do it differently, in a very different way. So I believe, are in our infancy right now. We don't have that many people using this technology every day as part of a tool in class, but we're hoping that's going to change. And when that changes, we have to decide how we want to implement this. Do we buy 100 sets? Do we buy 50 sets and have people check out? Or do we make it available from the bookstore where students can check them out? So those are questions that have to be answered. So with me I have Dr. Kilroe-Smith and Dr. Will Smith, and they have used this technology in their classroom, and I believe that they have got some very positive feedback, and they'll share their experience on how they did it, what students said, what worked, what didn't work, and things like that. So we have essentially 3 brands on campus. We have what's called a Turning Point brand, small tablet-sized clickers, kind of the not so fancy. There's no LCD screens here. There's no text entry. So that's one brand we have, and you can check this out from Tico Johnson. And if you need more information on that, we can help you.
Clicker Lite?
That's kind of the Clicker Lite, yes. And the software for this is already installed on your laptops. I made sure that when you guys got your new laptops, the software for this was already installed. So you should see Turning Point software already installed. So all you have to do is check the sets out, and if you have some training needs, we can train you before you have your first activity in class. How many of the sets? I don't have the exact number. I think it's enough for people to go around. And I think you can check them out for 2-3 weeks at a time, and then. There are sets of 32 or sets of 25, so you can choose what you want. We have another brand, another model, which is the same manufacturer, but a little advanced. It's got an LCD screen. It does a little more functionality than that. And we just have one set of this, and if you want to check this out, you have to just email us. Excuse me? That's also Turning Point. Same software as that, but just a different hardware. And then the last one we have is the ones that you have there. They're the Wisdom brands. So there are differences between these brands. Some do more, some do less. The Wisdom brand that you're holding can do formative assessment and summative assessment. So if you want to give high-stake testing, like final exam or midterm exam, using those clickers, you can do that. It's high security. Nobody can browse anything on those devices. You get good stats. You get immediate feedback. You can slice and dice the data any way you want. These, you cannot do high-stake testing. You can only do formative testing, like polling. What do you think the answer to this is? And you can collect some data from there. So there are differences. Also with these, you cannot do the gaming mode. Those have the gaming mode. So what we'll do today is we'll play a game on GGC factoids, and we'll see. So that's going to help you understand how the technology works. We've played this game in conferences with adults, and the whole complexion of the room changes after we play a game. So everybody likes it. So let's get started. And just turn them on. Turn them on by holding the on-off key. And the screen should come up. And the way you answer is, at this point, you won't see anything on the screen except Quizdom probably. But when the questions are presented, you will see choices A, B, C, D, E, or F. And then you can either press the keypad to answer the question, hit send. Send will appear at the bottom. Or you can just use the scroll button up and down and select your answers and then hit send. And you'll get a hang of this as soon as we start. So
is this on a PowerPoint presentation?
Yes, exactly. They run on a PowerPoint presentation. You code the questions, and you're good to go. So I'm going to do the anonymous mode, and I'm going to present that as a game. And there are several ways you can present it. We'll play the fast track game. And I'm not going to put a timer. And it's communicating through a RF receiver, and these also have an RF receiver. All right.
Oh, you want us to answer it?
Yep. Michael Gagnon, no answers telling. Huh? Just turn it off and on.
How do you get it to?
You just scroll down, or you just keep on pressing A, B, C, and it'll turn to C. And you have to hit send after that. There's a send key. Okay, we're almost there. A few more people. All right, everybody's answered. All right, so let's see. Car 10-1. Who's car 10?
How do we know?
Okay, on the top there's a number. Car 10-1. So that's car 10 got that right, and that's car 10's response time. How fast you answer and how correct you are.
Oh, this is by timing as well.
Timing as well, yes. All right, 10's in the lead, 10, 18. All right.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Did you say NASCAR is a male thing? Now there's a princess game as well.
Okay. All right, I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds. That's Jonathan. We'll show you the answers at the end. And also, I've turned on correct or wrong answer indicator on your screen, so you can, if you get a check, means you got that right. If you get an X, it means you got that wrong. All right. Car 17.
If you get it right, there's a check at the bottom.
Yep.
Well, maybe we get a 0.
Car 19's case. Yeah. The graph. Right, the graph, yeah. Stella is trying to make me go faster and faster.
First, newest, all of the above. When in doubt,
All right, so here's the bar, so you can pause in between, show the distribution.
I think we need a review from this past material first. No cheating. So how do you prevent
18 still in the lead. Okay, very close race.
I don't know. Tell us, Gautam. What is the answer? This is going to be on the final.
All right, 16. Okay, there's some lead.
We get a prize for getting everyone wrong.
All right.
The answer is A.
All right. Okay, this is the last question, and then I'll show you who the winner is. Car 19, 17, 9 wins the game. Okay. Dr. Smith, would you share with the faculty what your experience has been with clickers, and then Dr. Holmes can chime in.
Well, I used the other clickers, and we didn't really play a game in
Yes.
class. And how we did it, because I teach music appreciation, so I used it a lot for listening tests, because I found that the students were kind of scared to give their answers in class, and having a way of just answering a question or something about the music anonymously was pretty cool for them, and they really got into it. For example, I'd play a track of music, and then up on the PowerPoint I'd have a question about the music, and then they could answer it, and then straight away I'd show them a little graph that would tell them if their answer was right or wrong, so they could see immediately, if they got it right. And sometimes I did it right at the end of class just for fun, and then you always stick a couple of funny questions in, or intersperse it throughout the lecture, so that they're having to pay attention, knowing that something's coming up that they're going to have to use their clickers. I used it last semester on the first day of class as they walked in, and I handed them a little clicker, and they all got really excited and asked them a whole lot of questions about what they expected about the course, and after I'd gone over the syllabus, just checking that they understood everything that I told them. And generally, they really enjoyed it. Every time I had them, their faces lit up, and they often asked if I could bring the clickers in. And it was a really good tool for me to see how much they were getting of what I was teaching as well. I think in my class, the main thing was this anonymous response that they could have, that they could answer a question and then see if they were right and wrong, and then also see how many people in the class, like if they got it wrong and they saw that they were the only person who got it wrong, then, might have realized they might need to pay more attention. Or else, otherwise it made them feel at home if, half the class got it right, half got it wrong. Because, listening for some of them is something they've never really, listening to music properly, really listening, it was not something they'd done before. So that was my experience. It was very positive. They really enjoyed it. I learned a lot about them, and, it was a two-way street. It was good, and I'll continue to use it. The only thing is, I would love to be able to have my own clicker set to use almost I could use it in almost every class, and the students ask for it. So that would be very handy, because there were some times when I wanted to get a clicker set and, had to reserve it, and then the person who was checking it out wasn't there or whatever, and it didn't work out. And it would have been great to have it.
As far as cost, they depend. A set of 32 it's under $2,000.
If you could have an iPhone app that did the same thing, that would be great.
Right.
You can do it with cell phones.
There are some
There's
apps.
a website, you text in your answers on cell phones, it's free.
Yeah, because I guess that's the same.
There are some apps that you can do that.
I also had a really positive experience using the clickers. I teach principles level economics classes with clickers, and I in fact had a dedicated set over the summer, so I used them frequently. One concern I had was that students were going to get tired of using the clickers, but in fact they didn't. By the end of the semester, most of the students were very positive on the clickers. The worst reaction were the ones that were moderately ambivalent toward the clickers. You'd give it to them and they wouldn't smile, but they would be like, oh no, not the clickers again. So they never got completely tired of it. From a teacher's perspective, I think it's really valuable for reviewing core concepts that you want to make sure your students have learned. So I'd spend about 20 minutes out of a 150-minute session doing a quick review of the core concepts. And if you notice that the fast track game allows you to see the distribution of responses in real time, so that gave me some feedback, valuable feedback as to what to spend a little bit more time covering and what I may be covering too much in my classes. From the student side, they were very enthusiastic about it, and on my reviews, I even had students say, I wish more teachers used this clicker technology. So it was really nice having a dedicated set this summer, and I would like to use them again.
Have they cleared up the battery problem? The time I checked them out, tried to use them, some of the batteries were fresh, some of the batteries were old.
You're talking about these. You're talking about these, right? Yeah. Rex, you want to talk about that?
And so I stopped using them after a week because I've been trying to use them where I was doing quizzes in class, and it would record their data.
Right.
Half the students, they were standing up and
Right.
them and trying desperately to get their point across, and it would work.
Well, also it depends on the models. These have no battery indicator as a visual indicator. These have a visual indicator, and those have a visual indicator. So hopefully we're going to make some kind of decision on how to move the campus and what technology to base that on. Yeah?
Well, I do know that some schools have their students purchase their own
Yes.
clicker. Is that a possibility?
Yeah.
So that way you don't have to worry about a set being signed out or something?
Right. And as I said, I think we are still in our infancy as far as using this technology throughout campus, and it's a question of the waves turning and everybody wants to use it, and then probably the best way is to have them buy it from the bookstore. I don't know if we are there yet.
But then you have to use the same technology, the same set.
Right, right, right. Yes.
Is there a way, if you're teaching in a lab with Blackboard or something, to do a very similar thing?
Like a polling software?
A quick polling, or a quiz where everyone can view answers together?
Yes. The Turning Point software has two modes to operate. One is through the PowerPoint mode, and one is poll over a web page or poll over a PDF file. So you can pull up something on Blackboard and poll over that, and you can get responses.
That's the Turning Point software.
Turning Point, which is installed on your laptop already.
Sure.
On the Mac, I'm not sure, but I told them to install it on the Mac and the PC. But if you don't have it installed, I'll send you the link. Download that. It's free.
One of the big positives I forgot to mention was if you divide your students into teams, force them to work in pairs or in groups of 3, it really ratchets up the engagement level. Almost to the point, if you have a really rowdy class, that might not be the best idea. But if you give everyone their own clicker, everybody's going to be quietly answering the questions. But if you put them in pairs, and I incentivize it with little fun packs of candy, so they really, a little healthy competition gets them going, and they do get more engaged.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll just add, I've been using the clickers in my class for about 5 years. Students love it. I agree with you on that. And then one thing that seems to be really cool is I'll ask the students to answer the question on their own first, and then ask them to discuss it with their neighbors to answer again.
Right.
And it's really cool to be able to see the improvement
Right.
that the students get from that. So it's an opportunity for them to be discussing material with each other and sort of teaching each other, which is really cool. And you can see it live, and they can see it live, and they start to really understand the value of discussion. And, so.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Will. Yeah, okay, yeah.
We will start again at 2:30, so you guys have a little longer break.
Go ahead.
Hey Trent, I think that entire conversation.
Make sure to try to suggest they put the lapel up higher as opposed to halfway up the shirt.
Okay. Do we want to like right there? Because we were told to just like make sure it was right about there.
Try to get it like right here. You take your hand, put it on the bum. Like, don't actually do this, but if you think about it like this, you want the lapel right there.
Okay.
1 second, sir.
Yeah, hold on. Let me calculate.
What about when you have units on this manner?
Yeah, they should have done that. Well, I mean, we weren't told that there was going to be more than the speaker, which is why we haven't done it.
We just figured we'd tell the next person that came up. If you're going to have someone else talk, just kind of pass them the microphone.
Well, there's no one else on here.
Or have 2 sides of that particular conversation.
Well, he didn't say he was going to do that either.
iPad app.
Hello.
Okay, so you can pop that open and someone, okay, crash driver. And all the rooms are made out. Yes, yes. And then you have this kind of setup. What's that? With where you can turn, when you come in, hopefully everything will be on and going. I need to get a little review of this whole system before I start. So how long? That's what they do. They're coming tomorrow night.